When multiplying using the Egyptian method and Egyptian hieroglyphics, we use only the Egyptian numeration. The first problem here will be to multiply 13 times 24. The number 13 has been represented here by 1 10 and 3 ones. In other words, 1 heel bone and 3 staffs, or 1 yoke, we could say, and 3 staffs. Over here, similarly, we've represented the number 24 by 2 10s and 4 ones, or 2 heel bones and 4 staffs. Those are the two numbers we'll be multiplying. And the way we start the process is to put a 1 underneath the number on the left and to copy the number on the right. And what this indicates is that we have one group of 24. And then as we go down, we will just double as we go. I'm going to alternate colors so it's easy for you to distinguish the rows. So I take that 1 staff up above and I copy it twice, getting 2. Over on the right-hand side, I see 2 heel bones. I make 2 heel bones and 2 more heel bones. That's doubling. I write the thing twice. Same thing with the staffs. There were 4. So here's a group of 4, and here's another group of 4. I could have thought of that as multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8, but we don't even actually need to know our multiplication facts. We just copy things and then double. So on the left-hand side in red, I see 2 staffs. So I copy a group of 2 and another group of 2, giving us 4. On the right-hand side, I see 4 yokes. Doubling that gives us 8. And the way I'm going to write this is I'm going to stack it up. You may do that. You can write things horizontally or you can do slightly vertically, because otherwise things are going to get very, very spread out, very long as we're writing. So I notice also I have some 1s to deal with on the right-hand side in red. There are 8 of them. If I double a group of 8, I get something that's more than 10. So I will need to do some regrouping here. And as we know, 8 times 2 is 16, which is a 10 and 6 ones. So the one thing you really have to know mathematically is that you need to regroup once you hit 10 or more. Continuing the process, on the left-hand side, I see 4 staffs. So I'm going to double that. There's 4. And then there's another 4 for a total of 8. Moving to the right-hand side, I see 9 heel bones. Now again, when I double, I'm going to get more than 10. We're going to have 18 heel bones. Well, I'm not going to write 18 heel bones. I'm going to regroup and have 1 coil of rope followed by 8 heel bones. That represents 18 groups of 10, or 180. Up above, we have 6 staffs. Doubling that would give us 12, which is another 10, another heel bone, and 2 ones. Now, one thing we need to recognize is when it is that we need to stop. And I'm seeing here that I have 8 ones. If I double that, that's going to give me 16, but that is bigger than the number that I'm trying to multiply by. 16 is bigger than 13. So I'm going to stop where I'm at and not double again. This is, we don't want to go above this number because we're trying to multiply up to that number. So what we're looking for now is how to get that number 13 out of the numbers we have on the left. So what I have here is 8. That's good. If I add 4 more, I've got 12. That's not quite 13 yet. If I add the 2 staffs above, that brings us up to 14, which is too high. But if I add 1, that is a total of 13. If we add 8 plus 4, we get 12. plus one more is 13. So those are the rows that we are going to keep, and we are going to eliminate this row that isn't part of what contributes to our total of 13. This row is just gone. So I'm going to clear this up a little bit, and we will be adding from the right-hand side. So I will be adding this to this to this. Truly what it comes down to is we're adding one group of 24 plus 4 groups of 24 plus 8 groups of 24, which gives us a total of 13 groups of 24, which is what multiplication is all about. It's repeated addition, it's groups. So it's basically a matter of counting. In terms of the staffs or the ones, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I write a 12 as 2 staffs with a yoke. So I've taken care of that part. Now I'm going to count up my yokes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have 20 yokes or 20 groups of 10. So that's actually going to regroup to be 2 snakes or rope coils, whatever we want to call this. So I've got my number kind of multicolored there because I wanted to show you that this part came from adding up the ones. This part came from adding up the tens or the yokes. There's one thing that we haven't included yet, and that is this rope or snake right here. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up my answer and write it below. This is 3 snakes, 1 yoke, and 2 staffs, and we leave it at that. Maybe you want to put a box around it to indicate to me that that is your answer. But we don't translate that into the Hindu Arabic system and say, oh, that's 312. That's a 312. Don't even write something that looks to you like a 3 or a 2 or a 312. This is the Egyptian system. They didn't have the Hindu Arabic system when they were working with their hieroglyphics. So we're going to go ahead and do one more example. This one is going to be 19 times 112. So let's set that up. 19 is a 10 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ones. 112 is a snake, a yoke, and 2 ones. That's 100, a 10, and 2 ones. In other words, 112. Here we go. Again, we start on the left with just a staff, and we copy down one group of 112. And then we go through our process of doubling. 1 staff becomes 2, 1 snake becomes 2, 1 yoke becomes 2, and 2 staffs become 4 staffs. And then we double again. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left, 4 snakes, 4 yokes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 staffs. So that's getting pretty big over there on the right-hand side. 4 staffs on the left become 8. On the right, we get 8 snakes. I think I'm going to stack them up to save space. And same thing with the yolks. But then with the staffs, we have 8 of them. If I double that, I get a 16, which gives us another yoke and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is one of the reasons I'm using multiple colors here, because otherwise our rows can tend to run together. and we don't want to have that happen. So on the left-hand side, I'm up to 8 staffs. Doubling 8 gives us 16, which is a yolk and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 staffs. On the right, I have 8 snakes. If you double that, it's a 16. So we've got 10 and 6. 10 snakes, 10 hundreds is 1,000, which is a lotus flower. And again, we have 6 snakes left over after that. So that's the result of taking 8 snakes and doubling. We get 16, which is 1,600 in this case. Next to that, I see 9 yolks. When we double that, we get 18. Well, that's above 10. It's 10 plus 8 yolks. 10 yolks is a snake. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yolks. In the, I don't want to say in the ones place because we don't have place value, but the ones or the staffs, we have 6 of them. 6 doubled becomes 12. And that's a 10 plus 2 ones. So now I need to think about, is it time to stop yet? Or do I need to double again? Do I need to keep going? Well, right now we're up to 16. This number up here is 19. If I double the 16, I'm going to get 32, which is larger than the 19 that I'm trying to add up to. And I can even tell that just by looking. I don't need to know my multiplication facts. If you double this number down here, aren't you going to get at least 2 yolks, which is more than what we have in the number at the top. So we don't want to do any more doubling. We're going to go ahead and do the addition. And in order to do that, we're trying to find the numbers in the left-hand column that add up to 19, which is one of our factors up at the top. So here we have 16. Well, that's good. If I add 8, if I add 8 to 16, we're going to get 24. Which is bigger than the number we're trying to get to. So we're going to leave this number out. I'm trying to add up to 19, which is the number that we're multiplying by. And 16 plus 8 would be 24, which is too big. So let's keep moving up. I have 16 highlighted. If I add the next row to that, 16 plus 4, that's going to be 20. That is too much. I'm trying to add up to 19, and 16 plus 4 is 20, so we're going to get rid of that row. But what's 16 plus 2? Isn't that 18? So that's okay. And if you add one more, you come up with 19. 16 right here, plus 2 plus 1 gives us the 19 that we're looking for. So we're going to add up the numbers on the right-hand side that correspond to those rows. And basically, it is a matter of counting. It's not so much adding as it is counting. If you hit 10 or higher, you have to regroup. So the number of staffs that we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 staffs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's count the yolks. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12 yolks. That's more than 10. So I'm going to have 2 yolks and a snake. That's 12 tens or 120. We had to regroup. Moving on, we look at the snakes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 snakes. So that actually becomes a lotus flower. That is 10 100s, which becomes 1,000. And then let's not forget that we also need to count our lotus flowers, and there is one of those that occurred in our work. So we also include this lotus flower. And I used multiple colors so that you could see here, this is what the work that I was doing with the staffs. This is the work I was doing with the yolks. This is the work I was doing with the snakes. There were 10 snakes, so they became a lotus flower. And this was the counting or the work that I was doing with the lotus flowers. And so you don't need to do this multicolor like I've been doing. I'm just trying to help you see what's going on. But our final answer is going to be 2 lotus flowers, 1 snake, 2 yolks, and what did we have? I believe that's 8 ones up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you want to put that in a box just to highlight the fact that that's your answer, that's great. You're not going to translate this. Don't start writing Hindu Arabic symbols that were developed far later and didn't even exist at this time. The Egyptians would not have translated their symbols into things that look to us like 2s and 8s and things like that. So we can read this off, we can interpret it. We've got 2 lotus flowers, a snake, 2 staffs, or 2 yolks and 8 staffs, which is 2,128. 2,128 is the answer, but we're just going to leave it as it is. And I hope that helps you with your Egyptian multiplication.